Today we are going to talk about 7.3. In this part, the learning target is that I can solve the simultaneous linear equations in two unknowns by the method of substitutions. Remember, you can copy it down on your class workbook, and also you can pause and replay the video anytime you like. So now, do you still remember about the substitutions that we have learned in Form 1? Let's check your understanding using the following example. You can mark it down on your class workbook as well. If 2x plus y equals 15 and y equals 1, then can you find the value of x for me? We can work out our step by substituting the 1 into the position of y. Therefore, we have 2x plus 1 equals 15. Right? So, we can find out the value of x to be 7. And so this is called the substitutions. In Form 2, we are going to apply these substitutions once again. But my tips for you will be, we are going to substitute 2 times here in order to solve one question, right? So let's look at our worksheet. Let's take a look at question number 2. We have equation 1, y equals 3x, and we have equation 2, 2x plus y equals 15. So now we have to do our first substitutions. Which one should we substitute, 1 into 2 or 2 into 1? The answer is 1 into 2, because in the first equation we have the value of y, and then we can substitute the y here into the second equation. So let's work out our step. So we have the value of x to be 3. Does it mean that we have finished our question? Of course not. As I have reminded you, in Form 2, we are going to substitute 2 times because they are two variables. We have x and y into the equation. So therefore, even if we have the value of x, we still need to find out the value of y later on. So let's do our second substitutions. We can call it as our third equation. We are going to substitute the 3 back into the 2 equation. Which one do we prefer to substitute? My advice will be 1, because in the first equation, in the equation 1, we have the y as a subject, so it is easier for our calculation. So let's work out our step. Therefore, we have the solution. X is 3, y is 9. And later on, I'm going to explain the following questions. You may try to make the practice. I'm going to show you the solutions of question number 4, question number 6, question number 8, and question number 10. So, let's start your practice. For question number 4, we have the first equation, 3x minus 2y equals -5. And we have our second equations, y equals 2x plus 1. So, which equation should we substitute into another one, 1 into 2 or 2 into 1? The answer is 2 into 1, because we know the value of x in the second equation. So, we are going to substitute here. So, let's work out our step. Remember, when we expand our brackets, we need to do it step by step. Negative 2 times 2x becomes negative 4x. And negative 2 times 1 times positive 1 will be negative 2. And we have x equals 3. Now, it's time for our second substitutions. Which equation should we substitute the 3 into? 1 or 2? I suggest you can substitute into the equation 2 because in equation 2, y is our subject for easier calculation. Therefore, x equals 3 and y equals 7. For question number 6, we have the first equations p plus 6q minus 3 equals 0. And we have the second equations 2p plus 5q minus 13 equals 0. Can we start our first substitutions here? No, because we don't know either the value of p or the value of q. So it's better for us to turn the first equations using the p as the subject first, because p is singled out in the first equation here. And now, after we change the p to be my subjects, then we can say that this is the third equation, and we finally have the value of p. And we can do our substitutions. We are going to put this part into the equation 2. Therefore, q equals -1. So now we can do our second substitutions. We are going to substitute the q back into the 3 equations in the front. So now, which equation are we going to substitute the q into? It's easier for us to substitute the q into the equation 3 because in the equation 3 we have the p to be the subjects. So let's work out our step. Therefore, p equals 9, q equals -1. For question number 8, we have the first equation 3x equals -2y. We have the second equation 5x plus 4y equals 1. So before the first substitutions, we need to make one of the variable to be my subject first. It's easier for us to start to look at the equation 1. And then I suggest we can turn the y to be the subjects because the coefficient of the y is -2 now, and we are going to simplify after we do our substitutions. So let's start our step. So now we have y equals to 3x over -2. So we are going to substitute the 3 into the 2. So now we can simplify because 4 can be divided by 2 and we have the 2 remaining. So let's go on. For question number 10, although you can see that the questions only include one straight line, but there are 3 parts. Here is the first part, second part, and my last part. So I want you to write down the 2 linear equations by taking out the first and the last part and taking out the second part and the last part. And so you can write down the 2 equations like this. And we can start our solution. Because we don't have the value of x and we don't have the value of y. So let's start the change of subjects. We have to start with the first equations to make y to be a subject first. So we have the y to be a subject here, and we are going to substitute this 3x into the second equation. And therefore, we know the value of x is 1. And later on, we can substitute this one back into the 3 equations in the front. Which equations should we substitute the 1 into? I suggest we can start substitute the 1 into the equation 3 because in the equation 3, y is our subject. And therefore, x is 1 and y is 3. So that's all.